been a minute since I've done one of these. Hopefully everything is in frame nicely and you can sort of hear what I'm saying. Might be a little bit of background noise. One of the neighbors is having a birthday party, so we'll deal with what we got. So this is my Yeti MTE C90 build, and as you can see from the title, not super thrilled with it. So let's get into that. How do you make a $10,000 e-bike really bad? As you can see, the bike is not how I bought it already. I've had it a couple weeks and it's already been modified. And the things that I really don't like about this bike that really held it back, I've already changed immediately. And there are some few things that I am going to change on top of that, but we can just get into it. So first things first, that new Fox 36 that they spec'd on that $10,000 bike, not good. The new air spring did feel really nice, but it felt like it had no mid-stroke support, and it was constantly getting packed in the bottom end of its travel, and it was very uncomfortable on my hands. Chat, my hands are too soggy to hold on to these bars, and I'm not somebody that has very much arm pump. I don't really feel any arm pump on the longest downhill runs. It's usually my knees and my legs that go first on the longer runs, like at Snowshoe or Windrock, never my forearms. And this bike with that stock 36 with the performance damper, just a regular grip damper, my hands just wanted to get blown off of the bars. It was very difficult for me to hold on, and I had to stop several times on a very fast and fun downhill run so that I wouldn't blow my hands off the bars. Dude, I cannot hang on to the fucking bars. I feel like a Jerry. I tried many different compression settings that comes with that damper. I tried different rebound, nothing really made it feel any better, and it was just, I think, a super poor choice for such an expensive bike that people might buy this bike and hate it immediately because of that setup. And on a $10,000 bike, that's honestly unacceptable to me. Yeah, number two, I was honestly super excited to try these. That would have been the Schwalbe radial tires that came on this bike. Heard a lot of good things about those, and the way they interact with the ground is much more natural, I've heard. And I did like them at first on some of the trail rides that I did on the bike. Just regular flowy stuff, it was okay. They were light, they did track the ground really nicely. However, the tire that they spec'd on this bike, not good. So I'm a 210-pound rider, and they put the lightweight trail casing radial tires on this bike. So already you have to run higher pressures to get these tires to feel more natural than what I'd say I'm normally riding, like a Maxxis. I was running on trail rides, I was running about 28 pounds in the front and 30 pounds in the rear, and compare that to what I'd run in Maxxis with like a double down or XO Plus casing is around 22 in the front and 24 in the rear. And that was okay on trails. The 28 and 30 was okay on trails until you got to jumps, and you really noticed how thin that sidewall was, and there was zero support. You hit a lip and it just completely squashes out of the way like you got a flat tire, and it was the most uncomfortable feeling tire I've ever ridden in my entire life. So those had to go. And it didn't just matter about jumps, it was like that in hard compression and hard turns where the tire would just roll. No bueno with somebody my weight, and I'm surprised they didn't get a puncture in the time that they were on the bike. So another thing, that's just something that if somebody bought this bike and had that experience, they might attribute that to the bike and not the equipment that's on the bike. I think all build specs come with those same tires. Yeah, how to make a $10,000 bike ride like absolute dog water is you put a cheap, what I would consider budget Fox fork on the front, and then some super lightweight tires that are not up to par for the job of what this bike is capable of doing. Very disappointing, and I honestly think that the cheaper build of this bike is super overpriced compared to others on what you get. But the T series is not really that bad. I mean, I think it's like 11, maybe 11 or 12 with all Fox factory EXO or Axis transmission, wireless. Everything is pretty up to spec. There's nothing crazy, nothing terrible about that. But for as expensive as this build was, to come with a Fox 36 with a grit damper is just doesn't rub me the right way. Now luckily I have alternatives, and I can put this factory 38 on it, and it runs phenomenally. Love that fork. It matches the bike perfect. We've gotten a few rides in it now, and it is absolutely phenomenal. So now that we've got the bad stuff out of the way, we'll get to the good stuff. But what upgrades I will do, and you've noticed, like, I haven't changed the shock yet. I'm just waiting on the one that I want to be available. SRAM 90 transmission is absolutely phenomenal. I love it. If you're a cable actuated person, you're gonna love this. It shifts faster than the transmission. Not quite as precise, but it's super quality, and I love it. I recommend it. Anybody that's wanting to try it out, go ahead and try it. You won't be disappointed. The motor, I absolutely love this thing. So I can get in trail mode, I can get around 40 to 50 miles, which is insane, and it's definitely still a workout. It's not a moped like one of the full powers, but it's still a workout. But you can go forever. Like, if you have time, this bike has time for you. Plenty of power, plenty of torque for what I want to do. It rides so naturally like a normal bike that it's kind of insane. Just brushing through it, and I'll get on a full review with this bike, how it's set up now later, but just the things that are on it. What people don't talk about is how quickly it charges. I get about 25% charge in about 30 minutes. So you go to Canuga and actually it's more like 30% charge in 30 minutes. So we went to Canuga and I ran it down to 50%. Ate lunch, which probably was about 30 to 45 minute long lunch, and it was at 89% when we finished up lunch. So it charges super fast. The finish is really nice. The bike looks really good. I love the paint. Have really no complaints other than what it was spec'd with, and the power unit is really nice on the front, and I'll show that briefly. You'll see it in the videos, but it looks super clean. Let's see, super clean. You can shift through all the modes. Shows you many different things, and you can download the Ride TQ app, and you can change a lot of the settings to tune the bike how you would want it to ride. So if there's not enough power in one mode and you want more, you can put more. If you want less, you can put less. Wheels, super low engagement hub, but the really hasn't been an issue for me yet. The wheels have been pretty stiff, nothing to complain about there. Comes with the SRAM Axis dropper, the new one that's 210 millimeters. Love that. That's been super nice so far. And outside of the equipment that's on the bike, the base model shock is actually really good, and the way the suspension works is second to none. It rides just like my 160, just with slightly less travel and a little more weight, so a little more commitment is required in the corners to ride it hard, but it's still super fun and super fast to ride. It really honestly rides like a more capable SB 150 I don't think it rides like a SB 140 like a lot of y'all say, or a lot of the Yeti people say. I think it rides very, very, very different to an SB 140. More like an SB 150, just with more weight. What else? Maven brakes have been pretty good so far. Didn't think I'd like them, but they're pretty good. And we'll see. Like this thing, it's been good. I'd have no really complaints other than what it was spec'd with, and hopefully we can get it dialed even more. So let me know what y'all think, and a full review once I get it set up the way that I am gonna set it up. That's coming, and let me know what y'all would like to see. If you want me to review some more bikes, some of my buddies have ones and I might be able to review those as well. So new to the e-bike gang, pretty sweet so far, and we'll see how she goes in the long term. Okay. Yes, sir. Any more behind you?
One more.
Okay. One of them smelled like stank butt.
Damn, these some big ass leaves, bro.
Oh. Woo! Yeah, I'm good.
I knew that was gonna fuck you up because it was tight.
I saved it.
Tweak your bars, isn't it?
Sounded like it.
Levers?
No, bars just a little.